As the bride, she sat down and started eating and drinking like she owned the place. She didn't care one bit about the look she was getting from his family or the guests. The whispers in the room were getting louder. Her husband leaned over and asked why she was so upset. Kimiko shot back, wasn't he the one who caused all of this? Because earlier that morning, she had tried to bail on the whole wedding. The rules and formalities at his family's home were suffocating. She couldn't take it anymore. Jiro had literally cried and begged her to stay. Right then and there, Kimiko laid out 3 conditions. From this point on, any ceremonies or house rules at his family's home, she was not obligated to attend or follow. Jiro agreed to all of it. Then he went to talk to his mother. Before he could get a single word out, his mother's voice was already cracking. "Am I really that much of a burden?" she said, one day in and already being pushed away. "It's all my fault." His older sister chimed in from the side. "Neither of us has ever once complained about you, Mom." That line was clearly aimed at Jiro, but faced with a mother who was crying and blaming herself, Jiro couldn't say a thing. So instead he told her that Kimiko had tried to leave because she was so happy and overwhelmed she didn't know how to handle it. It was quite a performance, devoted mother, dutiful son. Meanwhile, Kimiko was about ready to explode. What made it worse was that her own parents hadn't taken her side either. They told her she was being immature. So once the reception started, she decided to stop holding back. Guests were muttering that she had no manners, that her attitude was probably why she couldn't hold down a real job. That's when Jiro stood up and spoke in front of everyone. He said his wife had bought her own place in Tokyo on a writer's income. She was out there living life entirely on her own terms. She was more impressive than he'd ever be, and meeting her was the greatest thing that had ever happened to him. Those words hit Kimiko somewhere she didn't expect. Her eyes filled up. She'd spent years as a freelance editor. She had met all kinds of people. A man who would stand up in front of a crowd and praise his wife like that was genuinely rare. Maybe this marriage wasn't such a bad deal after all, especially since they'd be heading back to their little apartment in Tokyo the next day. No mother-in-law, no house rules, just the 2 of them, and life felt light enough to laugh at. But Kimiko celebrated too soon. She had barely set down her glass when her mother-in-law called. The elderly neighbor down the street was having a birthday and she hoped Kimiko could come back. Kimiko made up an excuse about a work assignment and said no. The next day, another call. A nephew had just had a baby. Another invitation to come back. Kimiko hung up without much patience. Her mother-in-law didn't seem bothered in the slightest. After that, the calls kept coming, big things, small things, it didn't matter. Kimiko started flinching every time her phone rang, but eventually there was one call she couldn't get out of. This time it was the death of Jiro's great-uncle, his grandfather's younger brother. The 2 of them were called back urgently. His mother was exactly the same as always, all smiles, soft voice, every word wrapped in warmth, but she had a way of pulling you in until you couldn't move. Kimiko offered to help out in the kitchen. The mother said local custom didn't allow the host family in the kitchen during events. The neighbors handled all of that. Instead, she asked if Kimiko wouldn't mind cleaning the rooms, an entire estate, for one person to clean. Kimiko smiled and said sure, though her eyes said something else entirely.